Aside from the muffled occasional whimper and soft rustle of tissues, the church was still. The stillness was heavy, the family ripped asunder by Garrison Brown's unexpected, too early passing. He was gone, after struggling in quiet with his own demons. Janelle, accompanied by Christine and Logan, sat quietly in the front pew, a painting of silent sorrow. Across from them, Mary sat motionless, her face colorless and blank. Madison, Hunter, Gabriel, Michael T. and Gwen were distributed among the pews, all immersed in their own private grief. Approximately 20 minutes into the service, the quiet was broken. The rear doors of the church creaked open, and Robyn Brown and Kody marched in, as if through a curtain call. The chatter ceased. All eyes focused. Despite being outfitted all in black, Robyn's designer handbag and Kody's sparkling cowboy boots made it seem nearly as if they weren't there to mourn so much as to visit some kind of celebrity social. They smiled to no one at all as they proceeded, slowly with deliberation, down the center aisle, moving steadily past the coffin without hesitation. Robyn's heels tapped on every step, not even a nod to Janelle. No embrace. Nothing. Kody went directly to the pulpit. He wasn't supposed to speak. Janelle and Logan had planned the service well, but as always, Kody took a moment to get grounded. He stuck his hand into his coat, produced a crumpled piece of paper, and began to read from it, his eyes darting back and forth between the notes in front of him and the audience in front of him. His voice was measured, serious. "Garrison was a complex boy," he began, "and fatherhood, especially in a season like this one, is one of the hardest things God has ever asked of me." Janelle slowly spun around from him, her jaws locked with uncried tears. Kody continued, though, "We don't simply grieve for our children. We grieve for the loss of our heritage, the loss of our authority. When they're led astray and let foreign voices turn them against their own family." Gasps circulated through the audience like gusts. "But we still adored him," he said. "Even when he shoved us aside. Even when he discarded the principles, the structure, the love that we tried to offer." Half a step from him, Robyn began crying, angrily, beautifully, as if she were the bereaved matriarch. Clinging to Kody's arm, she wept onto his dress shirt sleeve. His children visibly winced. Gwen contorted her face aside in disgust. Gabriel glanced down, fists curled tight in his lap. Logan ground his teeth as he seethed with crazed ardor. Janelle stood up. Kody rambled on, gesturing with his arms, playing the hurt parent. But she walked up to him, calm but immovable. As she stopped before him, her tone was gentle, but frozen cold. "You don't get to do that," she interrupted. "You don't get to come here and remake what you were to him, or what he was to you. You weren't even there. He died thinking he'd been abandoned and left behind. And now you come here pontificating about the way you feel, your pride. You didn't know his pain. I did." The room closed down. "You want the last word?" she asked. "You've already taken too many. Sit down." Kody stood stunned, truly stunned. For the first time in years, Janelle walked away from him, returning to her seat. After a tense pause, the pastor gently stepped in, guiding Kody away from the podium. But the tension didn't end there. Following the funeral, in what was perhaps an attempt to regain authority over the situation, Kody tried to speak with Janelle again. She didn't relent. "Don't," she said, bitter but drained. "I don't want to hear it." His voice shook. "You're making it worse. You're tearing the family apart." "No," she said softly. "That is something you did." Then Robyn cut in, her voice sharp, eyes burning with anger. "At a funeral? You have the audacity to fault us? We loved him also." "You loved domination," Janelle replied. And you pushed Garrison away because he refused to be a follower. You did not love him. You loved what you wanted him to be. Janelle turned and stormed off. Christine followed. This is finished, Janelle added over her shoulder. You no longer qualify to refer to yourself as these children's father. Logan sat up at last, his voice sharp and commanding. You don't call. You wait for a crisis before appearing or a camera.
This is over. We're finished. A quiet fell over the room. Hunter, Gabriel, Madison, and Gwen instinctively circled around their mother, forming a silent wall of unity. Outside of that circle stood Robyn and Kody, excluded, uninvited, irrelevant. That evening, the family gathered at Christine's home in Utah. There was no production crew, no lighting rigs, just the three women who had once shared a husband and their children. A couple of photographs of Garrison sat framed on the table with candles lit to the side of them. Side by side in the living room, on her lap was Garrison's favorite book. The crying had stopped. Her tears were over. We must be blunt, Christine said. This cannot go on, neither with Kody nor with Robyn. We must stop allowing them to hurt us. Logan agreed without hesitation. They are no longer family. Today verified it. Also, Mary concurred, low-key voice after all these years. I defended him for years, and I don't even know why. Today, I watched him ruin his own son. I felt ashamed. Adam and I sat down as a team and typed out a missive. No more talking, no more invitations, no more visits. TLC would be wise. If they were willing to keep the rest of the Brown family on board, then Kody and Robyn would not be included in the upcoming season. It went viral. Video from the funeral leaked on the internet, even a recording of the speech that Kody gave. It was picked apart line by line on Reddit. Rage infused the internet. Ex-fans became bitter critics. In 4 days, inside the walls of TLC, there was pandemonium. An internal memo leaked. Rethink Kody and Robyn's future. Audience is calling for accountability. As all of this went on, Robyn cracked behind closed doors. She begged Kody to do something, to sue, to fight, to do anything. They're making us out to be the bad guys, she sobbed. We tried to keep this family together. But Kody had no solutions. Nobody was taking his calls anymore. His number was blocked on his children's phones. Even Robyn's son, Dayton, began to ask hard questions. What did we leave for? Why are you crying so much now? Why didn't you talk with Janelle? There were no longer rational explanations for anything. Kody sat silently one morning, cup of coffee in his hand, in the dark upstairs hallway. Robyn wept again in the background. The house was too quiet. He stared at the last message Garrison had ever sent him, months before his passing. You made your choice. Don't call me when it's simple. Now nobody was around to call. Instead of them, life just went on. Janelle survived on her kids, full of grandbabies and healing. Christine built a new life full of happiness and peace. Mary emerged from Kody's shadow and transformed herself. The kids, though shattered, began constructing something stronger. Kody and Robyn, reminders of everything that went wrong, faded into the background. The end hadn't begun at the funeral, but now there was no way to deny it. In black boardrooms, executives at TLC had binders full of social media backlash, fan outrage, and footage logs. They'd weathered scandal before, but not like this. The 2-minute funeral clip, secretly leaked by an irate sound technician, spread like wildfire on TikTok and X. Millions witnessed as Robyn wept like a bereaved mother off stage, barely even noticing Kody throwing blame on the son he lost. Distaste was instant. Seasoned viewers who'd weathered Kody's narcissism in the past abandoned the show. Former reality TV personalities cried foul. Therapists broke down the toxic dynamics on YouTube. Influencers called for reform. Janelle, Christine, and the adult children turned down every call from TLC. Then, silence finally broke, and it came from Gwen. In a private Zoom call with producers she trusted, she spoke plainly. If he's in, we're out. The same applied to Robyn. The show couldn't stay the same. Not anymore. By early summer, TLC unveiled a bold new direction. The series would be renamed as Freedom, the Afterlife of Polygamy. It was no longer the story of the patriarchal old regime, one man and multiple wives whom he cared about. The spotlight would now be on the women, their resilience, their strength, the hope stories of children overcoming the weight of their father's fame. Janelle and Christine agreed. Logan, Michael T., Gwen, Madison also agreed to be a part of it. At some point, Mary did opt to participate in the new show, but only minimally as she focused on getting herself healed. When cameras resumed, dynamics had shifted. No more fake displays of unity, no forced conversations in which Kody controlled every comment. Instead, the premiere episode opened with Janelle surreptitiously creeping through Garrison's now empty home, gently running her fingers over framed photographs as she spoke candidly and unedited. "I had no idea how much pain he was in," she admitted. "This isn't about polygamy. It's what happens when silence is control." What transpired was a deeply human portrait of a woman who'd endured emotional abuse, now radiant, smiling with grandchildren surrounding her. The fan base mobilized again, and the ratings soared. But not everybody was celebrating. Meanwhile, in Flagstaff, Robyn, who nowadays rarely left the couch, watched it all transpire. She couldn't resist replaying the trailer for the new show on her cell phone. Neither of them was named. Only the children and the ex-wives were featured. Furiously, she threw the phone across the room, banging it shut. "We need to respond," she told Kody. "We need to tell our side." But Kody had retreated, drained, emptied out. He no longer defended himself online, seldom went out of the den, and barely showered. So Robyn took things into her own hands. She demanded a big interview, a spotlight podcast appearance, a full hour live, and was willing to tell the truth. Starving for the ratings bump, the hosts agreed. What followed was one of reality TV's worst PR nightmares, an illegal mess. Dressed in all white, Robyn sat stiffly and spoke in hushed tones as she began. "I was the villain. But I really did love Kody. I loved our children. The others were always jealous." The hosts cooled. "Jealous?" one pondered. "You mean Janelle and Christine?" Robyn nodded solemnly. "I loved him more than they ever did. They resented the peace he found in our home. They were angry because our children, my children, were more obedient." Within hours, clips from the podcast went viral. Robyn's accusations of Janelle's resentment were everywhere. Christine was depicted as manipulating the kids. Rebellion and gossip were held responsible for Garrison's behavior. An exaggeration at best, at worst, gross. That evening, Gwen uploaded a response video. Her voice trembled with anger. "I don't want to speak about her anymore, but this must be said. Garrison wasn't rebellious. He was traumatized. It's disgusting seeing Robyn play the victim." Christine shared only one Instagram story that night, a photo from when she and Garrison were kids grinning at each other in front of a campfire with the quote, "To be loved, one must be seen." Mary, who had been relatively quiet, tweeted, "Some facts don't need to be defended. They stand on their own. I believe Janelle. I believe Garrison." TLC quickly severed ties with Robyn. One leaked internal memo read, "Breaking Free is not affiliated with Robyn Brown. No new shows are planned." The new series was a success. Janelle began touring the women's conference circuit. Christine published her memoir, The Third Wife, Surviving the Silence. With Logan and Gwen, she launched the Truth is a Sister podcast, which addresses the psychological damage of spiritual patriarchy. What about Robyn? No one invited her back. Her attempts at reclaiming her narrative were fruitless. Public sympathy had run out. Haunted by his demons, Kody faded into the background, rarely appearing in public anymore. But every single other woman, children, people who were once silenced or marginalized, they all stood up. They shared their truth, and the world listened. And there's more. Though the Sister Wives star is a complex man, Kody Brown prefers not to have any issues with the law. He's forced to avoid any court battles, even slipping out of Utah in the middle of the night when he was under potential polygamy charges. Fans will remember exactly what landed Kody on a wanted poster. Next, in December, according to news reports, Kody narrowly avoided jail after a confrontation with the law. Robyn, however, wasn't shy about bringing up her husband's ordeal in a new video. This story has circulated widely. In 2010, the entire Brown family feared Kody would be jailed. because of his religious lifestyle. Robyn recalled, "We basically moved because we were trying to be family without being apart or in prison." The fourth and favorite wife wrote, "Utah State was threatening to prosecute us because of our beliefs, because we were a plural family." However, in 2016, Fox 13 reported that Kody had never been investigated by the Lehigh Police Department. The family found it difficult to talk about polygamy freely. The Office of Utah's Attorney General said that their practice was usually not to prosecute polygamists living in Utah for practicing the state's criminal bigamy law. It wasn't until Kody had passed away that Robyn realized he was headed to jail. Robyn later reported that he discovered Kody's sentencing on the internet. Sister Wives enthusiasts understand too that Kody would not have survived behind bars. Fans have watched the show evolve from the beginning, following a polygamous family with one father and 4 mothers, to where it stands now. Ex-wives Mary Brown, Christine Brownlee, and Janelle Brown have all moved on outside the parameters of that alternative marriage. Kody Brown and Robyn Brown now reside in monogamy. Christine left the family initially, then Janelle and Mary. The children's life, most of whom are now grown-ups, was filmed on Sister Wives Season 19. Cherished as a friend she never lost, Christine rekindled her love with David Woolley after the bitter breakup with Kody. The majority of Browns went to their wedding in October 2023 in Moab, Utah, where the whirlwind romance of the couple reached its climax. Kody and Robyn weren't invited, however. Though Kody and David have crossed paths at various family events, it would have been strange for Kody to show up at Christine's wedding. In a revealing moment from Sister Wives Tell All Part 2, Kody admitted he enjoyed spending time with David, even calling him overly handsome. He also confessed he was nervous to meet David and talk with him, especially in front of his children. "It was a great experience," he said. When asked if he could see the two going on a double date, Kody laughed. "I've had conversations with David since then. I enjoyed having him around, and I had a mean thought. David and I going on a guy's trip. Then I thought that would just be so not cool to Christine." While Kody expressed that it wouldn't be cool to Christine, the idea of him and David going on a guy's trip is an intriguing one. Both would go through the trials of a road trip, maybe with some good-natured obstacles thrown into the mix. Even though they would be without another person, it could be a spoof of The Amazing Race. Watching Kody and David interact, or even compete, would definitely be entertaining. Fans have not witnessed this facet of Mary since Kody departed. She even took a lone vacation to England, which was someplace she had never been and thought was the perfect place to visit. Mary is also well known for her party planning and decorating. Perhaps she could help plan events at Tata Farms, the flower farm Janelle and her daughter Madison Brown have just started in North Carolina. Although the farm isn't yet open to the public, branded products may be purchased online at tatafarms.com. The farm will host weddings, photo shoots, and other events in the future once it's fully operational. Mary and Janelle have become friends again after Kody left. They made sure there were even shares from the proceeds of the sale of the family's 2018 purchase, Coyote Pass. With their rich history, it would be wonderful to have Mary join Janelle's family. Her decorating skills would be a great asset to Tata Farms. The strong bond between Christine and Janelle was sealed in their breakups with Kody. The two women found their self-discovery journeys were eerily similar. Christine's relationship with David also gave Janelle hope that, later on, Christine dated someone else and fell in love, and the two women, Janelle and Christine, might choose to go into business together. The two have been sister spouses for close to 30 years raising their children, and they share a very strong bond as well as a sound business sense. Both are interested in putting an end to the financial struggles that marked their marriages to Kody. And since they separated from Kody, Janelle and Christine have gone into business separately. They could be in business together. A joint venture would be simple for them because they already spend so much time together and are going through life supporting one another. A real estate business is a natural fit, and Janelle has experience to offer, and Christine just purchased an Airbnb. As a team, they'd be fantastic real estate agents. Mary, Kody's first wife, was patient, waiting for him to marry 2 more wives before divorcing legally to wed Robyn and adopt her children from a previous marriage. Even after she witnessed her own marriage break apart, Mary remained obedient and family supportive. When Kody lost hope on salvaging their marriage, she felt abandoned. However, since their divorce, Mary and Kody have gained new perspective. Kody and brother Nathan helped Mary move from Arizona to Utah. An episode of Sister Wives season 19 reminded their relationship to be light, even flirtatious once in a while. Kody called Mary his favorite ex-wife, and though Mary was caught off guard by his tearful display when they split, they had a friendly, casual encounter. Kody even joked that if Mary married again, he'd like to walk her down the aisle. This light moment might spawn a Bachelor-type spin-off, Dating with Kody, in which Kody matches Mary up with potential dates. It might have been called Find My Wife a Husband, a whimsical, playful spoof on the unconventional makeup of polygamous households. Even in the early days of Sister Wives, the four wives had dreamt up a funny jewelry company that produced personalized pieces imbued with special significance for plural households. If Mary ever got remarried, Kody would even escort her down the aisle. The jewelry boutique, My Sister Wife's Closet, will be back up and running any day now, according to a note on the website, which includes a newsletter subscription. However, the store's Instagram hasn't been updated in 6 years, so any comeback doesn't appear imminent. The ladies could prepare the brand for 2025 by adding health and wellness products like meditation aids. If they should set aside the differences of the show, revamped My Sister Wife's Closet might do well, helped along by the kids and social media boosting. Sister Wives has been chronicling the life of the Brown family for more than a decade, covering everything from happy holidays to sad moments such as divorce and death. Over the years, the Browns have moved dozens of times, sometimes in the dead of night or uprooting after a collapsed marriage. They love to move and the road trips that accompany it. A shrewd business idea would be My Sister Wife's Movers, a moving company leveraging their wealth of moving experience. It'd be a shrewd means of keeping the Browns on TV for decades, and pure reality TV gold. Robyn and Kody Brown, the stars of Sister Wives, now reside in monogamy and seem to enjoy Western-themed furnishings. Their Flagstaff, Arizona home featured a characteristic bow and arrow wall, a sign of down-home Western motifs then popular in American society. Though cowboy and native imagery can be controversial due to indigenous rights issues, shows like The West and Yellowstone keep the Western spirit alive. The imagery of the Old West, with its complex history of indigenous peoples facing land loss and hardship, has inspired countless films, shows, and songs, from classic spaghetti westerns like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, to Louis L'Amour's novels and Bon Jovi's rock anthem Wanted Dead or Alive. Robyn and Kody's love of Western decor shows in details like the bow and arrow above a window near their painting of horses kissing, a photo shared on Reddit by a user called Mindful_Surat. The wooden bookcase and terracotta-colored wall remind one of Utah's red rock country landscapes, inviting a country rustic ambiance. The room possesses an understated Old West feeling, with natural textures and hues of the countryside's own beauty. They also possess a Walmart area rug with the Lone Star design, which was originally made by the Lakota tribe, renowned for making star quilts. The Lone Star is Texas's symbol and conveys honor, strength, and kindness. Most responses in the Reddit post regarding Robyn and Kody's design choices were negative. Some questioned why the bow and arrow would be significant. The reply: it represents hunting for survival, but warfare and standing your ground in combat. To make a bow and arrow by hand, especially by a native craftsman, will take a month. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates like this. Thanks for watching.